Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Hey Dr. J, where we cover pharmacy basics one topic at a time. I've been going through some of the questions that we've received so far and trying to group them up where I can. And since we just talked about blood pressure, I did pull out the questions that were kind of dealing with that topic. So, one question was from Rashida Dick 5811. What role, if any, does the consumption of fruit and vegetables play in keeping blood pressure stable? The other question was from that one you look 487. Is there any food to help reduce blood pressure? So the short answer is there's not one food or one food group that will help you with your blood pressure directly. This isn't kind of a straight line solution. The long answer is there are various methods and you have different options on ways that lead to lifestyle modifications, which in turn affect disease stage such as blood pressure and high cholesterol, and will give your body time to kind of heal on its own. Does that make sense? As you'll see, health in general isn't a clear-cut topic. There's not one, if you do this one thing, this one way, you'll get this one result every time in every situation. People are unique, and when you have a variable that's that wide, you can get a bunch of different outcomes. People are similar enough to be generalized, but you can't really get into specifics with consistent results, if that makes sense. So today we're going to talk about the DASH method, which stands for Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension. This includes eating foods that are rich in potassium, magnesium, and calcium, while avoiding foods that are high in sodium, saturated fats, and sugars. I know there are studies that show if you follow these methods, you can see blood pressure results in as little as 2 weeks. But I try not to hold that a staple in my practice because long-term change takes time to really set in, and there's a number of reasons why it can fluctuate or not happen within that time frame that are outside of the method itself. But when people tend to not see what they believe is supposed to happen, they tend to quit in advance. So the DASH method recommends servings from each food group that rounds out to about a 2,000 calorie per day diet. Each food group has a different range of servings, and keep in mind, one serving is not a meal in this case. If you look at any pre-packaged item or food group or food case, whatever, you'll see that at the top of that nutrition facts, most of the time you'll see that the container is 2 to 3 servings a piece. So just look at it from that aspect and not from what you think a serving would entail. So for the grains group, you can do 6 to 8 servings per day, with one serving being like half a cup of cooked rice. Your vegetables, you can do 4 to 5 servings per day, with one serving being a cup of raw veggies or half a cup of cooked veggies. For fruits, you can do 4 to 5 servings per day, with a medium fruit being one serving. What's a medium fruit? I honestly don't know. For your lean meats, poultry, or fish, you can do 6 1-ounce servings or less per day, with one serving being like 1 egg. Your fats and oils, you can do 2 to 3 per day, with that being like 1 teaspoon of oil, which I don't know how y'all cook. I just pour until my ancestors say stop. And sweets being 5 servings or less per week. A sweet in this case would be like a cup of lemonade. And you probably don't have a lot of wiggle room when it comes to sweets because there tend to be in abundance, especially in American culture. By itself, this diet can come across as daunting. It doesn't sound like you're eating a lot at first, but you'll be surprised how full you get when you start kind of eating more clean and when you start to slow down. Because when you are doing these type of lifestyle modifications, you're going to slow down how quickly you eat. And especially in American culture, we tend to overeat because we are trying to wait until our brain tells us we're full instead of our stomachs. There is some clinical evidence around eating slower, which will allow your stomach to catch up to your brain, which in turn will let you know when you're full. Now, for more information on the DASH diet and how to make it work for you, I do have a link in the bio below. Also, if you Google it directly, there are websites that have quizzes you can take to personalize the DASH diet for yourself in order to see how it'll work for you. Now, I want to briefly talk on seasonings. Mrs. Dash is available in stores and is one of the most common seasonings for this type of diet because of the name and whatnot. That particular product has no salt in it, so you can kind of season things to your heart's content. So when it comes to eating foods that are less in salt or are completely fat-free or low in fat, there is going to be a taste difference, and sometimes it's not great. So I personally don't recommend doing a cold turkey method because you'll think all your food is going to taste like this and then you never want to eat healthy again. And that's not necessarily the case. In this fast-paced drive-through society, we tend to eat quickly and buy things on the go. And the things that we are buying are jam-packed in fats, sodium, you name it. So as I've said before, take baby steps when it comes to these things. You can cut out one thing over another, or maybe don't add as much salt if you're cooking, or eat less of prepackaged items and kind of work your way up to something. You can also go searching for different types of seasoning. With the world the way it is now, you literally have the internet at your fingertips, and you can find small businesses that have seasonings that you like, whether they're individual or like a pre-setting of seasonings. I would love to hear what you guys have in your spice cabinets right now. Me personally, I have Flavor God. I've been using him since like 2019. I love his product. He does prepackaged items, and his products are low in salt. They're not necessarily salt free because they tend to follow more of a paleo or keto type dish. I'm not sponsored by him. I've just been using his products, and I will recommend things that I've personally tried and enjoy. So I would recommend looking into his site and his various products. Also, his bottles are pretty big. If Flavor God happens to see these videos, hey, I would love to talk to you. Catch me later, whatever. All right, this one is short and sweet. Nutrition is not my specialty yet, and there's so many routes you can take with this. I just wanted to dabble a little bit with this one since it tied into blood pressure. I will definitely revisit a nutrition topic later from a different angle, probably multiple times. So for now, remember to like and share the videos. You can post your questions and feedback below in the comments, or you can use our Google form, which is located on the channel. So until next time, stay safe, y'all.